when I see people saying the Muslims colonized Africa the same way that the Western powers colonized Africa. I mean, really? Islam spread across North Africa and East Africa and West Africa largely through trade and interaction. And that led to the creation of powerful indigenous independent kingdoms, regional empires and dynasties, centers of learning and commerce, created by African Muslims for the benefit of Africans. So which land under Western colonization did the colonizers make richer? And which colonized country was a sovereign empire ruled exclusively by the indigenous people? It's an absurd comparison. You have the Mali Empire, the Ghana Empire, the Songhai, the Bornu, the Fulani Empire, the Sultanate of Zanzibar. The spread of Islam created kings. Western colonization created slaves. When Islam spread in Africa, literacy spread, education spread, trade and commerce spread, prosperity spread, development spread. And again, this was all done by African Muslims, not by outsiders, not by colonizers, by the indigenous people. Contrast that with the British and the French and the Dutch and their colonization, and then still tell me that the Muslims were colonizers. Well, the difference is night and day. They de-developed Africa. They plundered Africa. They subjugated and destroyed Africa. When I tell you that the countries of the Sahel were among the most developed and richest lands in the world, you can't believe it today. You see how things are now. The poverty, the lack of infrastructure, the violence, and the instability. Well, the only reason it's like that is Western colonization. Those lands, the lands of the Sahel, were the envy of the world. And you made them, according to Frantz Fanon, the wretched of the earth. We spread prosperity and you spread misery. We built and you tore down. We produced and you stole. Again, you can't try to say that your colonization spread through trade and missionary work. Again, that's what you're going to try and say. And that Islam also spread through trade and da'wah, which is like missionary work. And you can pretend that these are the same. That's because you're using trade, in your case, as a euphemism for plunder and theft. And the proof is in the poverty. Whereas in our case, it actually was trade and the proof is in the prosperity. You call what you did missionary work, but it was coerced conversion, subjugation, and brainwashing to create compliant, self-loathing colonial subjects. Scholars of Islam and Sufis and traders traveled into Africa and interacted with the people and taught people, and people chose Islam. And then they built for themselves what they built for themselves.